Hello, my name is Danny Morgan, and my topic today is coverage. Coverage and the issues of reporting. Definition of coverage: the content of amount of detail that is applied to the content. Being a journalist, you have to follow these key points: seeking truth and reporting it, low to no harm, act on your own, and being reliable and transparent. What is at stake with coverage? There's a thing called too much coverage. You don't want to bore the viewer. Make the story interesting and something that people can either watch or see. Make sure you tell the truth when it comes to covering the story. There's this thing that is fake news, and people tend to believe this fake news and tell the truth. People don't like fake news. You have to be biased to audiences. You cannot be one-sided. Either the story has to be like a neutral standing. What makes your story unique and different from other people's stories? You have to act fast in order to get a good story out there. Here's my case study.
These pictures being shared on social media has stirred up some emotions in the East Walnut Hills community.
Oh, I feel like it's inappropriate. Extremely, especially because they are, supposedly the most diverse school in the city, and I feel like it's offensive.
Jada Wheeler, who is a former student at Purcell Marion High School, says that her friends at the school were disturbed by the images also and shared the pictures with her.
Yeah, I think that's way too far. I think that the administration shouldn't have even allowed the students to do that.
Principal Andy Farsing gave us a tour through the hallways and says the pictures being shared to people outside of the school don't fairly reflect the project.
And so what we have on our walls, it's a carousel of our shared history, and our students are learning.
As you walk through the building, each level has a different inspirational quotes to images of historical figures. Zach Hoover helped make the signs that some are now calling offensive.
Few of us, we put colored as that's how it was segregated back then. Whites had their own fountains, blacks had their own fountains. And so we weren't trying to make fun of anybody. We were just trying to show this is what it was like.
Hoover and several of his classmates say the student-led Black History Project has helped facilitate important conversations about race and America's past.
I don't think we talk about it today as much as we should and really acknowledge what went on back then.
It just really helped me to understand a lot of different aspects of, history, what went on.
While many schools take on the traditional lesson out of a textbook, Principal Farsing says he wanted to do something different by letting his students use their voices and creativity through art to tell America's story, even if it makes some uncomfortable.
And we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge the sins of our past, A, so we don't repeat them, and B, so we can make sure that our futures never experience that which we worked so hard to change.
Professional considerations. You have to have a neutral people interviewed, having like two different sides of the story, having enough coverage to the point of content in the story. Make sure you're following the key points of coverage as well as the key points of journalism. Your interview can go bad if the only target audience was one-sided. How do the issues of being handled by philosopher and media? I've noticed with the video that the school was being educational, but it can be viewed as racist. During the interview, different parties were showing their concerns whether if it's right or wrong. If you notice in the video that the first person that was interviewed was kind of mad about the situation. But in overall, the principal is trying to be educational about the experience, and he doesn't want for it to be repeated in the future to come. The ethical theories that apply. Recalling from the video earlier, the principal quoted, "What we have on our walls is a carousel of shared history, and our students are learning." We have to acknowledge the sins of our past so that we don't repeat them, so that we can make sure that our future generations never experience that which we worked so hard to change. Okay, continuing with the ethical theories that apply. The story uses end-based thinking due to flexibility and opinion that are allowed to other views, opinion on the matter. They allow the decision maker to weigh competing values occurring to the consequences that might occur. Therefore, also seeking truth and report code, other journalists take responsibility for accuracy of their work, and make sure to verify their information before reporting it. And also by proving content by making sure that they didn't misrepresent and simplify in promoting, preview, and summarizing the story. I believe that journalists would definitely have use the truth and accuracy principle in the story, especially since the story and the topic is very fatigue and can be twisted either way. The truth and accuracy of the story was shown by giving the overall of the headline itself, and then being allowed the student's former student and the principal in charge of supervision of the project to go more into detail in explaining the intents of the project, followed by opinion. Connecting to the public. I will do things differently. First, I would have told the story that having different people interviewed versus with both sides. For example, one of the women was upset of the issue of the topic and being spread around the school. Other people didn't mind at all. I think the story seemed to be racist in how it was covered for that person. I could see some views being that way. I would kind of change it differently of other people's opinions and matters. Maybe also show different social media posts of different opinions of either from people in Facebook or Twitter or even just kind of be biased and see what's going out there. And that is it. Thank you.